Hello everyone, my name is Kate Glaser and I'm here with Dan Kautz from Kautz Buckley. Today we are going to talk about gifting strategy. I run a nonprofit myself, so this topic is very, very critical to those who are on the receiving end and also on the giving end, right?
That's very true, and our job's probably talking about the giving end, yes, which is always fun. Isn't it nice to give? Isn't it nice to share?
It's so nice to give. Good. City of good neighbors, right?
Yes, very
so
true.
This really rings true for so many people. So when it comes to strategy, let's talk about that. Donating, gifting, how that works.
Well, when we sit with a client, we talk out what they want to do. Now, are they somebody who might want to be gifting week by week to their to the church, their basket, whatever it may be, or the fire hall, or the bingo parlor, wherever it is, right? I shouldn't say bingo parlor. That's probably not a gift. But, they want to be gifting out to a charity that they believe in. And that might be very simple. I've identified that in my budget. It's a line item. It's simple and easy. Then we get into some bigger strategies. Maybe you want to gift to your kids, and how do we do that? But the even bigger strategy is when people have a little extra money or they want to tithe, and they want to be giving to charities such as your own. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, we take a look at like donor advised funds or the ability to do an endowment or something of that nature. So when clients come to us and they have an income push, maybe they sold their business, maybe they are at a point in their life that they saved enough money and they want to start gifting. One strategy we use is called a donor advised fund. And what will happen is in 1 year, let's just say it's the family. Not saying we're doing it, but the Kautz Family Giving Fund, okay? My wife and I will get a chunk of money and we'll put it into the donor advised fund. And that year, we get 100% tax deduction for that gift. Mm-hmm. Now, the gift is out of my Social Security number. So it's a completed gift. But I still have control over who I want that money to go to. It still gets invested and everything else. So this is a way that we can not only give to a charity, but also manage the tax implications of maybe a sudden windfall of money, lottery. You're at a point where you're saving inheritance and you want to be able to give to somebody from the inheritance that you just got. So this is how we use the donor advised fund. And then on top of it, if I were to die and my wife were to pass away, then we'd have another person, children, nieces, nephews, or somebody be in charge of also the gifting, maybe as we wish that it would have been gifted, so we create a legacy.
Wonderful. And how long does that money in that fund remain tax-free?
All the time, 100%. Once it's given, the tax break is given to the grantor of the gift. It remains tax-free while it's in the donor advised fund. And you can also add to it as time goes on. So you might do a strategy. Maybe we have a different payout, or this year I want to be able to put $2,000 or $3,000 into it. Next year I'm going to put $2,000 or $3,000 more, but I'm only giving away $400 or $500 a year. That way the fund keeps accumulating, and it accumulates tax-free, and you still get the tax benefit every time you make a gift to it.
And aside from the tax benefit, why should people consider doing this, really giving back to the community?
It makes your heart feel good, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. And I shared with you, in our office, we have a gifting and giving back process at our office that we pick a local charity, and Jeff and I cut out a check for $5,000 to that local charity. And we just think it's important because, we manage money, yes. Our business is money, yes. But it's nice to just take a break and give a break to somebody else who needs it too. So it just feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. And for charities that are watching or they're interested
mm-hmm.
in learning more, do you also work with charities too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, we have a couple non-for-profits that we're managing the money for. And that gets in a different side of managing money and how you manage it for the charity. But you want to make sure you can attain the goal that they have. The charity has a goal to give out so much money a year. Here's the pot of money they have to work with. So naturally, we want free, really quick money that's going to be probably the next 3-4 years. It's going to be gifted out. That may be held in a very safe, if not cash, pot. And then from there, you'll have different monies that you'll invest for a longer period of time that will be freed up when that money's needed. Like you have the first 5 years and 10 through 15 is being invested this way, 15 through 30 is being invested in a different way. And then on top of it, you have to look at what is the gifting coming into the charity. Is there an endowment? Is there a regular gift? Is there something of that nature that's happening?
And let's say someone doesn't have that large sum of money, but they want to give monthly. Is that encouraged as well, or is that the same process?
No, it's encouraged as well, and it could be done in a simpler fashion. It just could be done, I want to put it on my credit card, I want to write a check. I have an automatic deduction that goes to the charity or house of worship or what have you. Simpler issue, simpler tax structure, but still makes you feel good.
So using the donor advised fund, what if someone needs to have that money back that they've already put into that fund?
Well, that's where you run into a little bit of a problem. It's a completed gift. Once the gifter, the grantor, gives the money to the donor advised fund, it's done. You can't reach back and grab it. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I think putting a plan together and knowing that's what you want to do it. But know that it's done. It's not coming back.
Yeah, that's really, really good to know. Very good information. And when it comes to assets and being able to give back to charities, it's not just about the money that you can give, but there are other assets, correct?
Right. I really look at the type of assets. We've had clients come in that maybe they put money into, let's just keep it simple, they put it in a mutual fund, and this mutual fund grows, and it has a very low basis. In other words, they put, example, $10 in, and now it's worth $100,000. That's an example, okay? It's just a point, make the point. Well, that's a big tax issue to the owner of that mutual fund, but that's an excellent gift to give to a charity, because once you gift to the charity, they're non-for-profit. They can liquidate that fund and have no tax ramification on it. And then the person that gave that gift, as long as it's completed, in other words, given to it and not being able to be pulled back, that's a tax deduction for them. And that's a way to move an asset on that might have high appreciation or low basis, it's called, with a large capital gain. The other thing, too, is you can move that working with an attorney. Matter of fact, my partner will be coming in, and this might be a question for him in another segment, but you could create what's called a charitable trust or charitable remainder trust, where you move the asset to the trust, and then the client, the gifter, the grantor, can get some income off of that asset that's tax beneficial, but the actual gift goes to the charity at the death of the grantor. So this is a way also to move on low basis, high gain, or other assets that you'd like to give to a charity. And the last thing, not the last thing, but one of the more common things is life insurance. Life insurance is a great way where you can make the premium payment and then make the charity the beneficiary. Now, there's some really cool structures there. Who owns life insurance, who makes the payments, and there's some tax benefits, but that gets into a planning that is more in depth than what we need to cover here today. But that is a very great way to leverage a small dollar amount and have a big payoff to a charity.
Wonderful. And you obviously run your brand in such a charitable way. Personally, what does that mean to you, especially, in the city of good neighbors? Why is that important to be able to give back, and, just really share more about the importance of giving back?
Well, it's all through my life. I mean, I've always volunteered, and that's just Dan. I've always volunteered. We've been important to my life and in our community. And now, as I've gotten older, my time has gotten less, but I might have a little extra money. And like they always say, it's either time, treasure, or talent that you give back to your community. And right now, I'd like to think it's a little bit of my talent and a little bit of my treasure I've been able to give back. And Jeff and I have a nice process here that we give back to the community every year. We pick a charity that Jeff, a homegrown charity that we know a lot of the money, 99% of it goes to the beneficiary of that charity. We like to think, we do the research, but you want to make sure. And then we're able to give, we're giving about $5,000 a year right now out to that charity, and be able to bring that charity into our client event that we host in October. And it's nice. And it allows our clients to know that, it's not always about, let's just get money under management and everything. Let's do something good with what we're doing.
Yeah, and $5,000 to a charity is a lot of money, and it goes
I
a
hope
long
it is.
way. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I think it's very appreciated here in Western New York. Thank you for tuning in. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to Dan or Jeff.
And to find out more information about Kautz Buckley, please hit us on the website at kautzbuckleyfinancial.com or call the office. Give us a ring at 716-276-8480. Thank you.